Hey everyone, and welcome back to Aska survival Viking game. So we've almost got all the walls done, as you can see on the map right here. Hopefully these will get us a full completion so that we can get our people's happiness up. So if you hit tab here, you can see that your village is defenseless. 100% of your structures are not enclosed in walls. Hopefully this will change if we get it to land properly this time. So we can just finish building these out really quick. And moment of truth, we're going to get this last little piece in. It was hard to get these to match up. It's definitely a tricky game. And with that complete, let's take a look and see if it worked. And right now it looks like our entire village is enclosed, so our people should be a lot happier. Now they just need more food because 2 of our villagers are not satisfied with what they are receiving, so we'll have to adjust that at our cooking hut. All right, with our people unhappy from the food they're getting, we can come over here to our cooking hut. I think I covered this earlier, but just in case I didn't, come up to your cooking hut, press T as in tango, and then you're gonna come in here to tasks, and we can assign our guys to make different kinds of food. So right now we can see that what all we're making is berry compost, beetroot soup, carrot soup, eggs, on and on. The only thing I can think of that these people might want would be fish. But we can assign that recipe here once we make one. I haven't actually made one yet, so I don't think it's available. But what you would do to add a new recipe is come down here to add task. Click on add task, look at your available recipes, and if you see something you haven't added yet, just add that to it and they'll make it. Looks like we need to go hack up some fish and see what kind of recipe we can find for that, and maybe that'll get our people happy. The other thing we could do is assign our guys to make barbecue on the grill, or to use the barbecue grill over here by the fire, and maybe these guys just want steaks. Okay, so while I was getting the fish ready, guys, they went ahead and finished our carpenter, which we added onto our secondary workshop hut. So let's go ahead and build it out. Now we're a master builder. This is going to allow us to get into hardwoods, and we'll go over that once we get some of those gathered and put over here. So in order to get hardwoods though, you're going to need a metal axe. So we're also going to get into ironworking. You'll take a long log or a log itself, place it on here, and using your axe you'll chop it up, and you'll get the various recipes from it. If you hit Q, you can see what you can get from here. So we can get wood shaft, or we can get the wood planks. The other thing you can do here is on this carpenter horse, same thing, you can put a long or a regular log onto it, and you need a draw knife to use that. So again, you have to make that with metal using a iron blade. Then right here is storage for it. We're not gonna go the storage on it. It's pretty obvious what you do with that. And we need to get all these buildings up to tier 3. To take all these buildings, including all of our gathering huts and everything else, to tier 3, we need to walk up to each one of them. Again, press T as in tango, and you'll see a woodcutter's house. We can go ahead and hit build on that. In order to build it though, you're going to need the more advanced resources like wood post, wood beams, wood shafts, wood planks, and iron nails. So again, this is all tier 3 resources. We can go ahead and build on that and get these queued up for later. This will give us more storage and allow us to assign more workers to it. Once those are built, that's going to allow us to start tier 3ing the rest of these buildings. So you always have to start back at the base level and work your way up. Same thing with that. We can come over to our walls. We can take those to the next tier, which will be the plank walls. Again, these are going to take wood beams, wood planks, long sticks, and nails. We're going to have to get a lot of iron, and we'll go over how to make iron soon. And then, like I said in the last video, we were going to build the coal maker, which is right here. So you'll take a bunch of firewood, pile it up, then you'll build it and then set it on fire. Once it's complete, you can then press E to unearth it, and then you have a pile of coal here. You need this in order to make iron. Our guys will come and clean this up in a second, and then we can assign somebody to it to start making coal for us, which will save us a lot of time. Plan to probably double our NPCs here shortly. Next, we built the bloomery. So right here is our bloomery. It's got a bunch of storages in it for coal and everything else. If it's not whitelisted, your guys will come and grab stuff to take to the warehouse. So any of your iron ore, coal ore, and everything else, they'll come here and take it out of here if you leave them whitelisted. Or you can assign somebody to help you make it, which you're going to need a ton of this to build armor. We still need to build the armor house. I have not done that yet. I was trying to figure out where we're going to put it. So with these 2 buildings like this, I think we'll be okay just to set it over here. So we'll come back into our advanced production, and then we'll take the armor smith building. We'll build it. Just set it right here for now. Later on we can move if we need to. Like usual, I like to leave a small gap here so I can build a road between it. And then we'll let our guys work on that. Another thing we can do is we can build the builder's hut, which will allow us to assign priorities to our builders. For instance, like right now with all the invasions and stuff coming, we can tell them, hey, I want you to repair stuff before you build stuff, or vice versa. And the builder's hut can be found underneath the settlement tab. So we're going to set one of those up. It's a really small building, so I actually need to look and see what people think about it being near their houses. We might just stuff it in a small corner somewhere. It has 0 defense points, 600 vitality, but it looks like it has no negative or positive regardless of where you build it. So we could just set it in the middle of wherever. But right now I think we'll just set it here. At least it's out of the way, but it's in a main thoroughfare when we come over to summon, which we actually need to get some more people coming. Let's go ahead and activate this. And we'll get a new guy coming in. So he's nocturnal and springtime vitality. Now that we're also into iron and more advanced wood, we can build more advanced buildings, which might be why you're wondering why is there so much space back here. I was originally going to use this for the farms, but I think we're just going to put the farms around the mine. And back here, I think we'll put the longhouse. So if we come back to settlement, or not settlement, housing rather, you'll see here we have the Proud Chieftain's house, which I think we can just upgrade that from the Chieftain's house. And then we have the longhouse. Now this building is huge and it can take tons and tons of upgrades. It actually probably needs more space. So I'll probably have to boost this corner out some more. And in order to do that, I'll probably just rip one of these fences out, put a gate in, and then start pushing it out. But I just wanted to show the building itself. We could curve it like this and get some out of it, but it's just like the warehouses. You can expand the sides and the back of it, and you can fit a ton of people in it. Worst case, we might tear down the houses in the front and just build it over there on the front corner and move everybody that we currently have into these back houses, which we currently have 3 cottages back here. And then we have the Chieftain's house here. So let's go hit T on it. Yeah, so we can upgrade this to the Proud Chieftain's house. It's just going to take everything else being upgraded first. And we did put some more of these monuments back here with the wooden altars to get people to be happy. And we also built the Raven altar, which allows you to become a Raven just because people like being near it. And we still have a few more buildings that we need to cover that we've not built yet, such as the farm. Like I said, we'll get to that. I'm going to level the ground again at a different level and different height around the mine, and then we'll probably put its own fence around it because people like to feel safe when they're at work. We can also add metal parts collector, but I have warehouse guys that should be doing that, so hopefully we don't need it. And then we'll start getting into some of the new stuff. I don't know what it is, like the beauty pit. I'm assuming it's a place to change the way we look. Yep, that's what it says it is. So we can build that out. We can build the forester hut, which is allowing you to regrow your trees. The smoker pin, the cheese maker, and the kickling pin. I have not messed with these, so I'm not sure what they are. We'll get those started as soon as possible as well, but it probably won't happen in this episode. This one's going to be about getting iron ore, how to make iron, how to get the higher armors, so that we're ready for the next invasion. This invasion, I unfortunately could not capture on camera. It went kind of rough. We barely got these walls up before we got hit. Luckily, a lot of them got trapped on these spikes and we didn't lose anybody. But you definitely want to get spiked walls up. And like I said, once you build your walls, make sure they're oriented the right direction. We went over it last time, but if you go to B for build, go to your wall. Like I said, I like to start with the hedge wall. Now that we're advanced, we can actually start with the plank walls. Then you'll hit build. The arrow needs to be facing the inside of your village, and then those green dots need to be on the outside of your fence. Those are your spikes. And you can go ahead and just lay out all the blueprints and get them to match up, which, like I said, it's a little mini game almost at this point. You just have to keep playing with it until they finally turn green on these points. And then if you go to map, you can see that your fence will go from red to green, which means that this is a solid defensive border, boosting the happiness of your people because they feel safe. And then if you look at the map also, you can see here, this is all dirt. And then where it's cobblestone looking, that's pretty much where we just took the road making tool and we beat the ground, which is why we can run fast. So if you look at our stamina usage right now, you can see that it burns pretty fast while we're running really, really slow. And then if we come over here on what looks like rock, you'll see that our stamina is going a lot slower on how much it costs us to run. That helps you and your NPCs out, so make sure that you're doing that. And then if you use the actual road making build, which is over here in terraforming, so you have path maker and then you have road planner. This actually requires small stone. It builds a fancier path, and it's a little bit more expensive, but this further helps you to go even faster. So if we set that down, you see it'll be like an actual cobblestone road. Let's go and tear this down before our guys start building it. Once we have enough free small stone, we'll start working on that. The only one we've built so far is right here going into the mine. Let me zoom in so you can see. And you can see how that uses almost no stamina when you run on it. So if you have the stone, you have the time, and you have the NPCs, go ahead and get them to building that for you. And then we'll go ahead and tear this out of here soon, since we need the wood anyways to keep building our plank walls. We're going to tear all this around the mine. I think that'll make for a great screenshot if we come up here to the top. And that way we can see our farms and our village. So guys, we're going to get back to building. We'll probably try to get the walls up to planks. We'll get the iron, which again, we're going to have to build a bunch of torches. I'll probably get an NPC assigned to this. And then we'll cover the mine once I have the torches ready to go, which shouldn't take long because for the next invasion, we definitely want to increase our armor. We want to get into metal weapons, which you can get metal weapons. I should have covered that. So you can see we have one now. So we have this iron two-handed. Let me find a fire so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Or the blue light will probably work well enough. So you see we have this sword. We got this off one of the enemies that came at us. I can't remember if it was a two-handed skeleton or a dragar, but they can drop axes and swords, and you can research these to build them yourself later on. They also drop bows, shields, arrows, and a bunch of other things. It's just a research to build them yourself takes a while, and it takes a ton of materials. But again, we'll cover that once we get to it. So our next step, like I said, we'll get the plank walls up, and then we will work our way into the mine and start covering that. All right, everybody, so I'm going to go ahead and cover the wood making stuff so I can go ahead and get an NPC assigned to that so they can start handling it. So let's come over here to our crafting table. First, we would have had to make an iron draw knife over here, so we would come in here, and like I said, we'll cover this later. I know it's a little out of order right now. but I just want to get stuff moving. Come here, you would put your looms inside of the furnace here, load it up with coal, just like a regular fire. Then you would press T to inspect it. Right here is an iron bloom. You'd set that over here, and then you cook it just like food. It'll have the red bar under it, and then it'll start glowing hot when it's ready. Once it's hot and it's changed to the orange state, then you would click on the anvil here, and this is your recipes for making metal items. The first two metal items that you want to make are going to be your iron knife blade, which is for the iron knife that you need in order to carve your logs and long sticks up that are made out of hardwood, which is birch trees. In order to cut down the birch trees though, you're going to want to make a small iron axe head, and then you'll craft that just like a normal axe on the workbench. This is going to take 4 hot iron blooms. The knife is going to take 3, so you need at least 7 pieces of metal. The way I got mine was from killing enemies. They drop scrap metal, and then you take your scrap metal and you just forge it. We'll go over forging here shortly. And you're also going to need a ton of iron nails. Like, I cannot stress how many iron nails you'll need. And to also speed the process up, because you'll go through a lot of hammers. So if you're doing crafting and forging, make sure you have 3 or 4 hammers ready to go. So in the order of operations, I would make the small iron axe head first, then the iron knife blade. Then from there, I would probably do the iron pickaxe head. That way you can mine some of the extra iron nodes that are located in the mine that we're going to go over in just a minute once the torches are done being made. And then from there, you have the iron hammer head. And this you can use to make the actual iron hammer, which lasts a lot longer and you'll get better stuff done. And then you might want to make another iron knife blade so you can actually make an iron knife, so you can start getting pelts and the better required resources. And you can give 1 of those or 2 of those to your hunters. And that's where you're going to want to build certain storages where you can store the iron parts, because once you break an iron weapon or an iron tool, you still get to keep the head and of them. You just have to rebuild them using like the wood shafts and the regular sticks. But once you forge it on here, then you're going to have water inside the trough. You'll put it into the trough for cooling, and then you'd open it up, and like right here you can see we already have some iron nails made, and that's how we made our iron axe. And sometimes you can find iron axes if you get lucky, or you can find the axe heads. Some enemies will drop them for you. And then here we need the iron draw knife. It's going to take 2 pieces of rope, 1 iron knife blade, and 1 stick. So we're going to craft that. Make sure we have inventory space for it. I forgot I still have a bunch of fish on me. Oh, I did not mean to eat that. That cannot be good. Sometimes we didn't get any status, and once we got lucky. So you can see our guys have been storing logs here for us. So let's go ahead and go over this. Let's grab one of these long sticks. We can place it here to deposit it. And then you would just press Q while looking at it, and you'll split it. And this is going to level up your woodworking. And we just broke our crude iron axe, so that's all we get out of it. And we just got 2 of the iron, well, not iron, we just got 2 wood shafts, and we can store those here, and then our guys will come get it when they're ready. But since we have the draw knife, we'll go ahead and put this over here. And you can do that same thing with a log. It'll just give you a wood plank instead. And if you put a log over here, you'll get a wood post. But it's the same process for both. So we're going to look at this one. We're going to press Q to get on top. And you'll see a guy mount up. Once he's done, he'll dismount. And this gets a lot faster the more proficient you get. But like usual, it's better just to assign an NPC so you can go explore the map and fight. But now that we're on top of this, go ahead and hold Q. You'll strip bark off of it. Once you see that the wood change states, so it went from that grayish white color to this brownish black color, press R to rotate it. You'll also notice that if you try to carve into that, it won't do anything else. And you'll see the damage pop up and hear it pop. And it changed states, press R again to rotate, and you'll keep doing this for every side. And again, logs work the same way, so I'm not going to cover those. It's just the same process. And you're going to need a ton of these for your walls and your tier 3 buildings. And then our guy dismounts like you just saw. As soon as it's done, you can press E to grab it, and you now have a wood beam. I just throw them on the ground because a lot of times I won't whitelist these buildings, so if I want my guys to come get it, I just throw it on the ground. They'll come get it when they're ready for it. And since we just went over everything else, we also assigned a guy over here to coal making, so you can see that he's making coal. And then we have another guy over here. Like I said, we're getting ready to go mine or go hit up the mines. He's making torches. I think they're hauling them all to the warehouse though, because we have storage here for extra tools, so they're not just laying around. So we'll come to the warehouse. You can see here we have tons of clubs ready to go for all of our bruisers, pickaxes, and basic tools. Here's all the torches, hammers, a couple of road making tools. To get started in the mine, we're going to need some of these 2-handed pickaxes. Let's go ahead and grab 1 or 2, or let's grab 1 for now, since we already still have 1 on us. We'll store some of our extra hammers here and trade those out for torches. Just try not to be stuck in the mine without a torch, because it will be black and you won't be able to see anything, and it's really hard to get out. I don't know if we can still do it. Let's check our settings really quick. You might be able to adjust your gamma, which I've had to do before in certain games to get out of certain places once my light ran out. Yeah, so right here at the bottom you see gamma. So if you get stuck in the cave or anywhere dark where you can't see, just take your gamma and just Maybe not max it out because it could turn the screen completely white, but start easing it up and you should be able to see well enough to get out. I would also remember where it started at so that you can reset it. Otherwise the game's gonna look terrible. So let me get warmed up, grab some food and water for my guy, and then we will head to the mine and I will go over how to get iron ore. And once we get a bunch of that stocked up, I'll show you guys how to start forging iron. And then we'll assign people to do that for us so we don't have to deal with it unless we want to get our proficiency up. Okay, so we have a torch and our hotbar already, but let's go ahead and walk into here. And if you look around, we can press Z. I don't know if it'll show up or not, but on the walls, there are going to be little spots where you can place torches. So like right here, let me see if I can zoom out some. It's hard to see. So right here is a cave pillar. We can pull the torch out too so you can look at it. So there's a torch. You can still use your other weapons and tools, and then we'll deposit it there. And then press 6 to de-equip our torch. And now you can see that the cave is lit up. And we can start creeping our way into here a little at a time. And then just press R to deposit. And these torches will burn out, so don't think they'll be there forever. Like, we will have to replace those, so you want to keep those being made steadily once you assign somebody to mine for you. And then we have this wall right here, so we need to equip a pickaxe in order to hit it, and we have to find the weak spot on it. Just attack this. Eventually it'll give you iron and stone, and then you'll break through the cave wall. So let's go ahead and do that. And there we go, we just broke through the first cave wall. Now be careful once you come in here though, there are enemies once you get to a certain depth, and then the paths will split and go in all kinds of directions, so try not to get lost and be careful not to get killed. Now if we press Z, you'll see here that we have small stone, so let's go ahead and grab all that. Hold T and you'll pick up multiple items so that that'll clear out. And then next to that we have iron ore, so hold T again, we'll grab all the iron ore that's nearby. And then we also got a ton of large stone, so this is going to help you get your spiked fences up. If we had gotten in here sooner, we could have gotten our fences up a lot faster. And you can come back out here. We went over this earlier, but we'll do it one more time. You can deposit your large stone on this side. On this side, you can put down your ore and your small stone so that you can keep going back and forth while your torches are lit. And then we can press T as in Tango. This again is where you're going to assign your workers. You can assign them tasks, and then you can also upgrade it once we get the workshop house built. So I'm gonna get back to work on this. We shouldn't hit anything more interesting except for the enemies that are in the bottom. So if I come across those, I'll let you know. So I'll see you in just a minute. Let's get some iron ore going, and then we'll go over forging. We have a little bit of iron ore now, so I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how to forge so I can get some NPCs assigned to this so I don't have to deal with it anymore. To me, you need about 5 pieces per every time you go to smelt, even from level 0 blacksmithing. So let's go ahead and run over here. Make sure that you have your hydration maxed out. You're going to need a lot of stamina for this. You might even want to get some food going for you. A quick note too, if you don't have water in your flask, go ahead and get your flask full of water. Come over here to your trough and let's go ahead and fill that full of water. And then let's fill our flask back up in case we need more if we do a bunch of forging. To fill your flask up, just go up to a well or a water source and hold down R. It also will level your gathering. I did mention we were going to try to learn a new recipe. We just cooked 4 pieces of fish, and that gave us fish soup. So now we can assign that and see if that'll make our people happy for having a different kind of food. So let's press T here. We'll go to tasks, go to add task here at the bottom, and then scroll through all this until you find fish soup or something you don't have assigned yet. And we'll just assign 4. They'll just kind of roll through the task, cooking what they have available, and then hit create. And you'll see here, and you can assign the priority. You can move it up, you can move it down, and that might be the problem. Maybe they want some of the stuff we do have, and it's just not being made because we have too much of the other items. So like meat soup, you might want to move it down to save your meat for wintertime and just let them go through veggies during the spring and summer. Now that you can see our coal maker, he went ahead and finished this, so we can unearth that if we want to see the coal, if we need coal. And then our place to come to is going to be our bloomery. So let's go ahead and inspect our furnace. You can see it's full of coal. That's too much coal for me. I like to do 5 at a time of iron. And then the rest needs to be coal. I even do this at level 0, so it's not that hard. We do need to go get another hammer. We only have one on us. We'll definitely break that, so don't light the fire yet. If you don't do this in a timely manner, you'll get what's called slag, and as far as I know, slag is useless. So if somebody knows better than me on slag, let me know. I just drop it on the ground and let it go. While getting our hammer, I noticed that our armor smith is almost done. Let's go ahead and build that out for them really quick. And now it's on the next step, so they're going to need rope for that. We have a little bit. Let's add that, and they'll work on it. We'll go over that once we get to it. But try to grab as many points as you can. Don't do everything yourself, but when you see an opportunity like that, make sure to jump on it to get your proficiency up. And of course, I've got torches, and I'm just running around without it out, so we could actually see. But like you see, you can use your weapons and everything else while you have light. It's just the torches burn out really fast. But I'll light this one up for now. Let's go over this again. So right here, again, we have the furnace. That's where you're going to put all of your resources. Once we light that, we're then going to come over here to the bellows, and we're going to have to pump these and get it between the white line. And you'll see the white line in just a second. Once we have all the ore cooked, and it gets a check mark, which you'll see once we start forging, then we'll come back to the furnace, extinguish the fire, then we'll hit T to move the iron bloom block over here to the wood anvil, and then we'll have to beat it with the hammer, rotating it with R, and then using T as in tango to then flip it to the other side, and then R again to rotate. Once we're done with that, we'll collect the block, and then we'll take the block over there, or we can store it here in our bloom storage. So let's go ahead and get started. So hold E to ignite. And it's cooking. Be quick about this, don't take your time. And you're going to press and hold E, but don't hold it too long. And you kind of have to watch the graphic here, and you want to get in between those two white lines that you see under the temperature side. And then you have to maintain it there just by doing full pumps and like half pumps. And we'll watch this, and in a minute you see the check mark pop up. That means that one's ready. It's now a bloom. And don't waste time, because like I said, your fuel will go out. This gets easier the higher your blacksmithing level. At level 0, you might fail this if you don't do it perfectly. And usually we'll have anywhere from like 10 to 20% left on the first couple of times. After that, it just comes down to how well you do it and how well you hit the pumps. And right there, we're about 25, 23%. Press R to cancel to get off of that. Come over here, hold E to extinguish the furnace. And then press T to remove the block. And then press zoom in, and then press E to hit it. All that black slag you see on top of it, you want it gone. Listen to the noise it's making right now. Once you removed it all, you're going to hear just a tink. Rotate it using R while looking at it, and then start hitting it again until you hear the tink sound again, and then rotate. Once you don't see any more of that slag, hit T as in tango, rotate it to the opposite direction, and then just press R again. So hit T like one time, and then just hit R again, and you should get all the way through it. Once you get all the slag off, you'll know it. It'll change states. Right there, you just saw it change states into a bloom block. Press T to open the storage, and we now have 5 iron blooms. So I'm going to make 5 more of those, and then we'll move to the next station. Now, if you're trying to get your proficiency and your level up on this, just be sure that you unwhitelist the building, and then your NPCs can't get to it. Then you can just do all the work yourself. And if anything does go missing, like I'd like to remind everybody, because I forget sometimes myself, just go check your warehouse, because you probably have storage in there. If you don't have storage in there for iron blooms, iron tools, scrap metal, and everything else, you need to have at least 1 storage per type. Now, water storage isn't so important, but pretty much everything besides water storage, you should have at least 1 of. That way your guys always have work to do, there's always something going on, and there's always available resources. Now that we've made our iron bloom, we're going to head over here to the workers, or the workshop hut that we made. We're going to go into our metal hut right here. Go ahead and look at your forge. We know this a second ago, but I just want to remind everybody, go ahead and right click, and you can move your iron blooms over. And let's just go ahead and do all of them. Worst case, we'll just turn it into nails. And let's see, we have a skeleton bruiser. Oh, they must be gathering over by the cemetery, so it's not a big deal. They should be fine. But we do have a cemetery close by, yet they're right here getting attacked in this small cemetery. So once we put our blooms on there, we're going to check here, make sure our fuel level's high. We're at 121. We'll add a piece of coal just to say we did. Now we're at 148. Go ahead and hold E to ignite it. And this is part of, if you ignite fires and put them out, that's going to level up your fire making skills. And then we're going to press T again to open it. You'll see it's cooking just like food with the orange bar at the bottom. Once it maxes out, it'll change states just like the food does. And now you see all the ore has changed to orange. So now we can hit exit. You want to keep that fire hot. Let's come over here, and then we can craft on this one. Make sure you have enough hammers. I might have to go grab one really quick or build one. Now, since my brother's helping us to make up time since we lost 2 or 3 saves, let's go ahead and start with the small iron axe head. That way he has an iron weapon to use for trees. So we're going to hit begin, and then you'll see there's a small one here. Go ahead and do the same thing we just did. Beat the slag off of it. R to rotate. This time we only have 1 rotation, so that's pretty quick. R again, 1 more time, and this should be the last side. If you press E too fast, you won't swing your hammer, so take your time. And then you're going to press T as in tango to send it to quenching, so it cools off. E to craft again. We need another draw knife, so let's go ahead and begin that. Once you've beaten the slag off of it, hit T to send it to quenching. Let's check how much we have left. We have 2 pieces left. What we can do with that is turn it into nails, or we can add our other 2 pieces, let those cook up. Make sure we have enough coal to get it up there. This goes really fast. Let's go ahead and add some more. The forge will burn your fuel up really, like, super fast. So make sure that you keep enough coal on hand. That's why we already have a guy making coal for us. And then watch it till it gets orange. It just changed state. So let's go ahead and jump back into here. We now have 4 pieces. We made a knife. We made an axe. We could do 4 pieces of nails. What we really need right now is the iron pickaxe head. So let's go ahead and begin making that. Make sure you check your water. We have 2 waters left. Let's go ahead and send it to quenching, and we just got the new portal notification that we have another invasion coming in 25 days. That's why we're trying to get all this stuff knocked out really quick so we can get our guys equipped well. So now you see we have a small iron axe head, iron knife blade, iron pickaxe head, iron nails, and from here we just need to check our recipes and make sure that we have all the materials that we need to make these. And I like to always use my flask. Go ahead and fill up the trough. So if you find the right angle, go ahead and press R to fill it up. At the same time, if we look at the forge, we have 1 piece left. If you only have 1 piece left, and you have nothing left in your inventory like me, just go ahead and hit E to craft. Go ahead and make you a nail. You can never have too many nails. You're going to need tons and tons. Once your buildings are tier 3, you're going to need nails just like you needed rope before in order to repair everything. Once you have the nail done, go ahead and press T. Now we have 5 more extra nails. So we have 15 nails available now. We can go ahead and extinguish this fire to save some of the coal. And then let's come over here. So I don't have my torch ready now, so we just have to work off this this low light. Come into here, we can see all the new recipes. I haven't gone over these yet, so we should do that now really quick. I'm not going to go over what it costs, except for when it takes us new material that we haven't seen yet. Here is your iron draw knife. You need that in order to carve up the wood to make the beams and the posts. Then you need the crude iron axe, which is a tier 3. It's also a good weapon, so you can use it to fight people with if you want to. Again, that's going to be your first axe because it takes sticks to make rather than the advanced hardwoods. Then here you have the crude iron pickaxe. It's going to take sticks, the iron pickaxe head that we just made, but it's also going to take one of the wood shafts that comes from hardwoods. And that's where we put it on that one post over there, and then we hit it with our axe to make the 2 little beams, or not beams, but the posts rather, or shafts. So don't go for the pickaxe first because you won't be able to make it. Go for the axe first, then the draw knife, and then your pickaxe. After that, it's up to you. I would advise going for a crude iron hammer, and then going for at least 1 to 2 iron knives, one for you, one for your hunter. If you've got multiple hunters, try to get each one of them one. Beyond that, you have more advanced recipes too, things we haven't gotten to yet, like farming. Like here, we have the crude iron hoe. Right here, we have the crude iron road maker. Eventually, we'll get into the large crude iron axe, which will help us cut down trees a lot faster. That's going to take a lot higher recipe and a lot more iron availability. So we'll get to that once we get to it. I'll cover it then. We also have the large crude iron pickaxe. If we scroll down into weapons, you can see that we now have more weapons available. We have the crude round shield, iron swords, hammers, battle axes, iron tipped arrows. All these do more damage, so they help a lot if you had the free iron to do it with. We don't right now, so all your iron right now should be going to building nails and tools and maybe a couple of weapons for your patrols and your defenders and yourself. Once we get the bare minimum of our people started, then from there we're going to want to go into armor. We have a blood moon coming now, so we need to get ready for that. But you can also use those advanced woods to build better shields and to build better bows if you're using those. But again, we'll have to go get the armor smith done. And once the armor smith's done, it's going to require the iron plates and things that we haven't gone over yet. But let's go ahead and take care of this iron moon. We're just going to use our basic club. If that's not good enough, then we'll use our two-handed weapon that we found off of one of our NPCs. Or not NPCs, but one of the enemies that came after us. So when you get a blood moon, if you don't know what direction it's coming from, you can just wait and pay attention, see what they hit. We will get the watchtowers up soon. You need 4 watchtowers in order to get the god's favors. While we're waiting, we're going to drink some water so we have more stamina. And it says our hedge gates under attack. We only have 3 gates. So they're right here. Let's go ahead and meet them where they're at. So if you walk out the gate, make sure to close it behind you. Otherwise, they'll just walk in there and close it. We don't have any patrols set up right now. Everybody's pretty much working and training. While you're waiting, you can either go get food, you can heal up, you can use your hammer on skeletons and go ahead and harvest their bodies. And some of the skeletons will drop you a weapon. This one dropped us some metal scrap. That's how we built our first metal axe and iron draw knife. He also dropped us the bone fragments. Other enemies like this one too, they can drop you axes, two-handed weapons. I have not seen a skeleton drop a bow yet, but I'm assuming they can. I know the Draugr, when they attack, they can definitely do it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this Blood Moon. Again, we've been over that already, but once you kill all the enemies, it'll say Blood Moon has been cleared. While I'm waiting on this Blood Moon to clear out, we're going to go over this. So if you upgrade your hedge wall to a plank wall, you can just hit build on it. Your spikes from the hedge wall will carry over to it, but you can't finish this wall until you get into the more advanced woods. You're going to need wood beams, wood planks, long sticks, and iron nails. It's 2 iron nails per wall piece. So as you can tell by our settlement, we're going to need quite a bit. You can also upgrade your gates. I don't think I covered that earlier, but you can upgrade it to a village gate. You're going to want to get those up quick. Like you can see, they're already damaging these pretty bad. And that's going to give you a little bit more time and buy you more time when the stronger and stronger enemies come, like the new invasion that's headed our way. So if you're trying to build your watchtowers, you can build them wherever you want to. You can climb on top of them and you can assign people to them. So I'm assuming the best thing to do would be to maybe assign archers. I don't know if people are just watching from them or not. I've not used them to that effect yet. But you'll go to your defensive walls. You can scroll over to watchtower and you're going to want to build some of these. So go ahead and build 4 of them wherever you want. So we could just set one there since we keep getting attacked on this side. Again, it'll be leveled out and they'll set it up. Try to leave a gap so people can get through. I like to put one on every 4 corners just so it looks nice. But it's up to you. There's also the hedge towers and some other things that I haven't used yet. So from here, guys, I think what we're going to do and call the video quits here. I think we have enough time now in here. Actually, you know what? Let me try to get deep enough into the mine so I can show you the enemies there. I don't know what to do with all the materials we can find in there, like the egg sac, but I'll try to at least show you the enemies that are there so that you aren't surprised when you find them. We've already gone through 3 walls. There's a 4th wall in front of us. The camera is the 4th or 5th wall. Somewhere close to there, we will find enemies. So let me go dig in there a little bit deeper, and then we'll cover them and call the video there. I don't think we covered this before, but if you hit this cave wall in the right place, you will see that it does extra damage. It turns pink. You want to look for the cracks. Again, look for the weak spots. You'll get through it faster. Right there, we just hit for 82. 68. Okay, and we just destroyed the wall. It sounds like something's screaming at us, so we probably have one of those enemies right there. So let's press Z. And you can see we have one right in front of us. So let's go ahead and get our 2-handed sword out just to make sure we don't get destroyed. It's been a while since I fought these guys. I don't know if they've changed too much. Normally there's 2 or 3. There's at least 2 right here. Let's go ahead and ease in here, back up a little bit so we can see with our torchlight. And here he comes. Alright, 2 swings with that and we took him right out. And this is called a crawler spawn. There are bigger ones down here, so don't go too deep too fast until you're ready with armor. Oh, yep, see there's 3 in here, so don't just rush in here. Oh, that was actually 4. Sounds like there's another one nearby, but I don't see it. Now you see this little tiny glow right there? Let me back up. That's how you know that you can put a torch there so you can see around you. So let's go and place one. And that's going to light our room up for us so we can actually see our enemies. Now if we press Z as in Zulu, you can see that we just broke through a couple of walls to get down to this level. And this is what we need the pickaxe for, okay? So right here on the walls, that's an egg, but right here is an iron deposit. Crude pickaxe that we just built will get us through that. And I'm not going to break open these egg sacs just yet because I don't know exactly what they're used for. And I don't know how to store those materials. If somebody does, you know, feel free to drop that in comments and I will greatly appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll figure it out soon. And then right here, we can break this open to get some Jotun blood. But I'm going to leave that alone right now. We don't have enough space in storage at the moment. But those are the enemies down here, and you can see the paths are splitting like I said they would. We put another torch down here. So here's another wall. And on my original playthrough, I never made it all the way to the depths. Here, we can place another torch because it's another wall. So that's 2 paths. We have another path here and then back to the top. So we have 3 ways that we can dig down. If I remember right, eventually we reach such a depth with such enemies that we will get like a rare item. So you do want to keep going down and down, deeper and deeper. But we'll cover that when we get to it. We'll make sure to reach that this time in this playthrough. The last time my computer gave out before we made it that far. But I think on that, guys, we will end this episode with cave mining and iron forging. That should give everybody enough time to work. If you need any more guidance on anything, I took a lot more time and put a lot more effort into my earlier series, which would get you to this point. If you have questions, check that out or ask me questions and I'll get back to you. Just leave them in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this content, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button though, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. I appreciate y'all's support.